Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Skyfall, an Azorius Synthesizer deck featuring many new cards from Aetherdrift, the racing set. Like many of our synthesizer lists, we do have some staples that are excellent alongside our key card. We've got a bit of removal as well as multiple ways of making a copy of our synthesizer, but our key card is not our only win condition in this deck. We've got a new card that can wreck opponents that we can also duplicate and make it very difficult for the opponent to come back from a deteriorating board position. If you've been with us long enough, you know we love to put the FU in fun, and this deck will do just that. Strap on a fresh set and pull those pants on. Let's get in there. We're playing Spyglass Siren, a small flyer that generates a map token when it enters play. Sure, the map token is useful early, maybe we can use it to help dig through the deck to find a land, but what we're really doing here is enabling a way to get in for a hit on the opponent to help get us to max speed. It is very likely that the newest mechanic could play a role in how well our deck plays out, that we want to be able to get there, and we'll explore this angle in a few cards. 3 Steps Ahead is one of those staples for any synthesizer list. It has spree and 3 excellent options. We're mostly interested in making a token copy of a synthesizer or one of our new cards from the latest racing set, but a counterspell or card draw are not bad options either. Fountainport Bell is a 1-mana artifact that can fetch us out a land. This ability will easily color fix our mana or get us out of a jam where we might be stuck on lands. Later in the game, we can skip the land fetching ability and use it to draw a card. Mendicant Core. Guidelight is a powerful little enabler. This is the reason we want to hit max speed reliably, as once we do, we can pay 1 mana and make a copy of an artifact spell. Double the amount of synthesizers for only 4 mana? Why yes. Yes, we will. As a bonus, the core's power is equal to the number of artifacts we control, so it almost doubles as a Robot Overlord. He does have Start Your Engines, which gets our speed started off, and as long as we can keep hitting the opponent to cause loss of life, we can keep speeding up until we're able to make duplicates of our artifacts. Doubling up on every artifact we play out will easily be GG's. Say goodnight, opponent, and thanks for coming on the big show. Perilous Snare is a fantastic removal artifact. It does cost 3 mana, which is the best cost when it comes to playing a synthesizer deck, since it'll trigger our factories and generate Robot Overlords, all while taking away the opponent's best permanent. That's right, it takes away any non-land permanent they have in play. Maybe we snipe a blocker or their biggest threat, but we get to do so while improving our board. The synthesizer is our key card. It's the backbone of any synthesizer list, and usually it's our win con, but this time around we've brought back up. But more on that a bit later. The Helm is the perfect companion to the synthesizer, as well as our secondary win con. The Helm will generate a map token every time we generate any kind of artifact token. And then for only 2 mana, we can make a copy of any artifact token we control. Ideally, we're making token copies of a synthesizer to build up our board fast and smash in for heaps of damages. But we have a secondary card this time around that can lock up the opponent if we can make a copy of it, then generate more token copies with the Helm. Waxen Shapethief is the newest clone. This one is absolutely amazing. First, it has flash, so we can fire it off at instant speed. Then when it enters play, we can have it copy any creature or artifact we have in play. A 4-mana copy of a synthesizer at instant speed? Yes, we can do that. Or make another copy of any of our artifacts is entirely possible. The Aetherspark is a planeswalker artifact that we're trying out to see how well it will hold up in actual games. We can play it out for 4 mana, then equip it for +1 loyalty. For -5, we draw 2 cards, and for -10, we get 10 mana of any one color. For our purposes, we really want to use the draw function, as that can help fuel us to many race wins. No wait, I mean victory. Being an artifact, it will trigger any synthesizers we have in play, and then we can easily equip it to any Robot Overlord that popped out of a factory. Riptide Gear Hulk is our secondary weapon to help take down the opponent. Sure, it might be 5 mana, but if it were cheaper, it would be completely busted. It's an artifact, so it will trigger our synthesizer. But when it enters play, we get to put any non-land permanent into its owner's library 3rd from the top. This ability is absolutely off the chain. With enough Gear Hulks, we can force the opponent to redraw all their stuff, and with our setup, we can easily make more copies of the Gear Hulk to keep putting the opponent's stuff on top of their library. It's very possible we can lock them out of the game by forcing them to redraw all the stuff they've played out without ever drawing another new card. GG's opponent will smell you later, bro. For lands, we're playing 3 Muruganda Raceway, the colorless land that can give us 2 colorless mana when we're at max speed. 4 Meticulous Archive, the Azorius Surveil land. 4 Flood Farm Verge, the plains that becomes a dual when we have a plains or island in play. 4 Adarkar Wastes, the Azorius Pain land. 5 Island, and 4 Plains. Playing the deck is only slightly difficult, as experience playing our style of synthesizer decks is very helpful in navigating the early to mid-game plays. We'd prefer to start off with a Siren on turn 1, then follow it up with a Core on turn 2, and getting in for a hit with our little flyer to get us to speed 2 on turn 2. A Synthesizer turn 3 is always amazing, followed by a copy of it on turn 4. The Riptide Gear Hulk can be used to set the opponent back and can lock the game up if we are able to make copies of it turn after turn. With a Synthesizer, even our removal, the Perilous Snare will generate Robot Overlords to pressure the opposing life total. With this deck, we want to hit early, often, and continue to do so until the game ends. Is the sky falling? No, but to the opponent it will feel like it is. All hail our Robot Overlords. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is the age of Aquarius. Should have been the age of Pants. Hopefully they threw on something sturdy. We're kicking things off with a solid 3-lander. We've got a Synthesizer and a Helm along with a pair of early birds. Let's get that worm. No, wait. I mean, keep your pants on. It's a painful start, but it's the only blue we have early. Our first couple of turns will be about getting our chickens down and getting in hits. Not that it matters a whole lot, but let's make sure the auto-tapper doesn't tap our only blue. Gotta love that chicken scream these things make when they enter play. Drawing an island is perfectly fine. That will enable our verges and will be set color-wise. We draw a raceway, let's get it down, and we can get to zooming ahead of the opponent. With the Synthesizer, we've now done 3 damages to ourselves. You're welcome, opponent. On top, we have a bell and another Synthesizer. We're okay with drawing the bell first, as it can replace itself. The opponent's first play is a Cankerbloom. You know, they were expecting plenty of artifacts if they're playing that. They've got no excuses if they end up dropping this game to us. We'll drop our second Synthesizer and check out our top 2 cards. That's a Gear Hulk under the Synthesizer. We'll have the mana to play it out. No need to change the order, we'll keep them just like that. They play out another Cankerbloom. They came well prepared, but what have they got against our flying men? Those guys are going to get the job done if all they're going to do is destroy artifacts. Let's play out our 5th land and swing in to get ourselves up to max speed. Now our raceway taps for 2 colorless and we can play out our hand. We have a Core on top along with our Gear Hulk, and since they don't have any permanents, we'll prioritize the Core. We'll follow up with the Helm and get our first Robot Overlord. They drop a Conduit of Worlds that will let them play out permanents from their grave, so they've effectively got endless Cankerblooms, but those things are going to be way too late now. Let's play out the Core, and we'll make a copy of our first Robot Overlord. The pain is coming, and endless artifact destruction is not going to save them. They hit a sweeper and all our men are toast. No jam. That's all right, as they're going to need to do that next turn too. We'll use the Gear Hulk to send their conduit back into their library. They'll get to draw it again in 3 turns. Enjoy, bro. With the mana we've got left, let's draw a card with the bell. They cancel all future beatings by exploding in their shorts. The smell, oh the smell. Also GG's. This is Tohklidan. He's definitely not the man. Nice try though. We get a 3-lander with an excellent line of plays. This is almost a perfect hand. Good luck, opponent. Keep your pants on. A hand like this almost plays itself. They play out an authority, but that's probably not going to be enough. We draw a 4th land, and that will let us play out the Shapethief, the latest clone. For now, we'll drop the core and get in for a hit to get us up to 2 speed. And just like that, we're already halfway there. They double down on authorities, but their authority doesn't mean anything to us. We're breaking the law. We're able to play out the synthesizer on schedule, but for the first time it's actually better to hold off and play it out on our turn 4. They do nothing with their turn and pass it right back to us. GG's, bro. No, wait, they're still here. Well, okay then. Let's swing in right away and get max speed. And we'll follow up with a double synthesizer. On top, we have a land and another siren. We'll keep the siren. That's extra damages in the air. That siren looks a little wimpy now that we've started generating Robot Overlords. Let's send it on down, but we'll keep the synthesizer on top. They play out an Elenda. She has hexproof from instants, but not hexproof from Perilous Snare. Oopsie poopsie. We'll play out our synthesizer and pay the mana for an extra copy. The core is out of its mind, giving us extra copies like this. On top, we have a Bell and a Gear Hulk. We want the Gear Hulk, but the Bell can go on down. Let's be real, at this point it hardly matters what we've got on top. We've got ways to trigger our synthesizers and keep generating Robot Overlords. Let's get in there. Elenda had better have on some sturdy pants. Don't let them drop, girl. There's not enough life gain in their deck, apparently. GG's, extra cheese. This is tiny fried eggs. 50 of them to be exact. But why fried? This one looks hard-boiled. We get a shuffler special, but this time around we've got weapons to use against the shuffler. This is a good hand, and we can get ourselves out of the 2-land jam easily. Keep. They play out a Maverick, the favorite of Roots players all around the world. We'll play out the Bell and use it to fetch up an island. And just like that, we will be out of our 2-land jam. How cute. A beastie that can't attack or block. I guess they're not a Roots deck after all. It's time for our core. Just showing up will start our engines. They play out a Curator, the guy that can get big when he eats the right cards out of the grave. We're not a reanimator deck, so let him eat cake. This turn is our synthesizer turn. Let's land our factory and check out our top cards. We've got a 3 steps ahead and a Gear Hulk, both excellent cards now that we have a synthesizer in play. We've got the mana to make a copy with 3 steps ahead once we drop our 4th land. They pumped their curator, their biggest guy, they'll likely be sending it in. Sure, bro, we'll take the hit. My pants are sturdy. Their beastie can't block, so it's our turn to send it. If we land the hit, we'll take our speed up to 2 and they take the hit. Perfect. We'll pass the turn as if we don't have any plays. But our next step is to make an instant synthesizer. They send in their bigger men, and this is when we fire off our 3 steps ahead. Say hello to my little friend. We get a beefy 5/5 Robot Overlord, and we'll block their beastie. The curator might be able to end up bigger than our AI, so we'll let him through. We'll want the Shapethief first, since we can play him out with the lands we have in play. Their curator eats the dead and gets pumped up. What they should have done is gone for that before damage was dealt, so we'd take the bigger hit. Oopsie poopsie, bro. Let's get in there for damages. We'll dupe them again by passing the turn, and we'll surprise them with an instant Shapethief. Amazing, they send in both of their men. Let's land our Shapethief and copy a synthesizer. They don't even wait to see what we're doing. Jeez, bro. This is Big Boy. Hopefully he strapped on some Big Boy pants. We get a 3-lander with double bell, a siren, and a helm. It's kind of a weak hand, but we do have the double bells for card draw. Keep your Big Boy pants on. We'll start with the siren. The raceway will get us to speed 1 on our next turn, and the siren will get us up to 2. Let's use the map token, and that shows us a core on top. We'll definitely keep it, and then send in the siren for the hit. Let's follow up with one of the bells, and we'll decline to find a land. We'll use it to draw when we get the chance. Boros tokens rears their ugly head. Their token men will likely find it hard to attack past our core. We'll play the core and leave up the mana to use the bell to draw. With our next attack, we'll get max speed, and our raceways will provide double colorless mana. Wait, are they Boros Convoke? In this economy? Do they realize their pants went out of fashion? It's time to buy something new, bro. They got a whole 1 guy out of the deal. Very nice, bro. Let's go ahead and draw and look at that. We got all our raceways. Let's get max speed, then we can drop in our helm with a copy. We'll follow it up with our second bell and hold off on using it to draw. Let's make sure our core will trade with their big guy before we do anything. They send in their big man, but we'll block up. That's as big as their men get, so taking their guy down will stop a lot of pain. They get another knight, and that could be a problem. I'm not sure making another trade with our core would be a great idea. Let's draw with our bell, and we get a Gear Hulk. That's unfortunate. We need another pair of colored mana lands to be able to play it out. They do a little bit better this time around, and get a pair of men in hand. Nice job, bro. Well done. We draw a synthesizer, and we might be able to take this game now. We don't have the mana to play out the core first, but we already have a way to generate additional Robot Overlords in play. Let's land this factory. On top, we have a pain land and a core, but we already have a core in hand. Let's keep the land. We do need more colored mana. We'll use the helm to copy our token, helm, and we'll get our first Robot Overlord. With all the map tokens we'll generate, our men will be huge. Let's use a map token and draw the land we have on top. They use their clue tokens to draw. They'll need to get more firepower on board or find removals since our Robot Overlords are going to be taking over the game. Let's send in our men and see how they block. And they don't bother throwing men in front of our Robot Overlord. Let's go ahead and make some more helm tokens. That's lethality. Should have blocked up, bro. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the Sharkman bite. Also, GG's. This is smoked. No, wait. It's still smoking. Put your pants out, bro. You're on the big show. We get a shuffler special, but this time we don't have a bell to pull us out of a 2-land jam if we don't draw a 3rd land. This won't be easy, but keep... Our archive shows us another archive on top, and that's a start at least. We'll play out the Verge this turn, and that will let us drop our core in. We'll start our engines and get the ball rolling. Removal. How quaint. I suppose they have to fire off their edicts regardless of what we play out, since those don't work as well when there are multiple men in play. They drop a Silex, and we'll have to see if they're willing to use it on a single core. Sure enough, they burn a sweeper-like effect on only one guy. Smooth move, bro. We'll go for a helm this time around. We don't have anything to copy at the moment, but if we can land our gear, Hulk, we can copy it with 3 steps ahead and make a token copy of it turn after turn. They play out a Sheoldred. How nice. We'll need to draw a land and then we'll be able to take care of it with our gear Hulk. The land draw is perfect. Let's play it out and send their Shelly packing. They hit our gear Hulk with removal. That's unfortunate. We could have locked them up had we been able to keep it in play. We get a Surveil land and we'll play it out. That's another 3 steps ahead on top. We'll want it since we'll be countering their Shelly when they draw it again. They go for a Bloodletter, but let's not go there this game. We would love to, but no thanks, bro. Here comes Shelly for a repeat performance, but this time we're canceling her show. We draw into a Synthesizer, and that will be our play on our turn. Well, looks like we'll have ourselves a double Synthesizer turn. Very nice. The Robot Overlords come hungry and always leave happy. A Perilous Snare is excellent, but the Pain land can be sent on down. Alright, Synthesizer number 2, you're up. The Snare is good, but the Gear Hulk is even better. Whatever they play out will end up back in their deck, and it'll get us more Robot Overlords. The Pain is coming. Let me guess, removal, bro? You've got something for our 1 Robot Overlord, right? Yeah, not surprised at all. And we have to discard 2 cards. We'll keep the 3 steps ahead. It's the most versatile card of the 3 we have in hand. It'll generate a token copy which we can immediately copy with our helm. This is already looking like GG's. A painful quandary. Lucky for us, once we make a token copy of a Synthesizer, we won't need to play out more cards. They've got only 1 mana left, so this should do the trick. They won't be getting another turn. Now that we have lethality on board, you can have your quandary. Nice card, bro. Very nice. And to seal the deal, we'll copy our token Synthesizer. That's right, GG's, extra cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.